Hey there, this is Robert Sidoti. How you doing? It looks like we're live. Hopefully the people who've signed up are all here and hanging out. This is a Google Hangout. This is kind of cool. I'm not sure exactly where any of you are necessarily, but welcome. So if you don't know already, my name is Robert Sidoti. I'm the creator and co-founder of Broga Yoga. And we're going to go through this little setup here. This introduction is mainly to give you information, insight. We'll open it up to answer or to offer a Q&A. Information about the 200-hour Broga Yoga immersion or teacher training. Okay, so we'll cover as much as we possibly can. So with that said, if you are watching, I invite you now to go to the Q&A. So as I give an introduction and let you know a little bit about myself and a little bit about Broga, I'd like for you, if you have any questions right off the bat, to write the questions down. You can find them. There's this little Rubik's Cube logo up in the upper right portion of your screen. If you click on that, you'll see a little chat logo, and you click on that, then you'll have access to be able to ask questions and see my answers, or you'll actually hear my answers. The other thing that I'll say right away is that there is a showcase button, and we're showcasing. You may or may not see that now, but we're showcasing a couple different links to the 200-hour teacher training, direct sign up. Links to our online training. If for some reason you're in, Malaysia and you're not going to be able to commute to Boston for this 200-hour, you might want to look into our 200-hour or our online teacher training. And then there are two other links. One is to our Broga online studios, which is awesome. Tons of videos, 30-day challenge, etc. And then the other one is for, I think that's it actually. So here we go. So again, I'm Robert. Thanks for hanging out with me so far. So I want to give you a little bit of information about who I am, why I'm here right now in front of you, and why you might be sitting where you are. And so created this Broga program. Love it, believe in it 1,000,000%. It's growing nationwide here in the States and globally, actually. Classes now in Malaysia and Dubai, South Africa, Mexico. So what is it? What is Broga? Broga it's a yoga-based fitness program, right? That's like kind of like a blanket statement. It is a combination of yoga, like a vinyasa yoga. We add functional fitness and we add high intensity interval training, all in a 60-minute span, right? That's suitable for gyms, yoga studios, etc. And I think, and what it's proving to turn out to be, is a really well-rounded, awesome, sustainable yoga fitness program. We'll get into more about what yoga or what Broga is in a little while. So let me say right off the bat also that this training is 200 hours. It is accredited through Yoga Alliance, which is great. I'm so excited to be able to, this is the first one. So I'm super pumped. 200 hours. It is held in Medford, which is about 10 minutes just outside of downtown Boston. Medford, Massachusetts. Now, the other thing that might be interesting to you, or really necessary to know, is this is 1 weekend a month for 11 months to cover the full 200 hours. So it starts January 2016, February, March, all the way to November. Some weekends are Friday evening, Saturday, and Sunday. Some are just Saturday and Sunday. It depends on the weekend. Okay, so right now, if you're like, man, I live way, way, way somewhere else, check out the link for the online training. Email us if you have any questions. Listen to this whole program here, because there probably would be some insightful information that could be helpful for you. Okay, so my little background, why would you want to come and spend 200 hours of your life with me, with this guy? What am I going to be able to offer you? Well, first of all, I'll say that, yes, I am hosting this. I am the lead instructor, but we have amazing guest presenters coming in, presenters that will offer meditation, chakra balance, anatomy portions of the training, philosophy. Okay, so there's no way I can do it on my own. I'm not allowed to do it on my own, and I just wouldn't. You'd get so sick and tired of me. So it's a really nice blend of myself and other amazing teachers. So my experience, right, I've been doing yoga for about 18 years now. I started practicing in New York City. I'd go to the power yoga classes. I've got a lot of the hatha, vinyasa, a little bit of Ashtanga in my background. I love the movement. I love the movement with the breath. So that's why I kind of always go to vinyasa. But I've studied and taken workshops and programs with a lot of different yoga styles, let's say. So yin yoga is one of my favorites. Power, to get the exercise. Restorative yoga, if you're not sure what that is, it's just straight up awesome relaxation. Meditation, some chanting. I love it all. So what I've got a vast amount of experience and interest in yoga, and I bring that to the table, as well as a lifelong career, let's say, in athletics, in sports, basketball, golf, tennis, surfing, skateboarding. I'm kind of, been fortunate enough to be able to do that my entire life, some very competitively, some not, some casually for the sport. But I mentioned that because it's really important. Like, I bring a lot of experience in that department as well as yoga, okay, which I think was very valuable. I've also been certified in personal training through NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine, which is an amazing program that when I took it, and I think still to this day, focuses primarily on functional movement, functional fitness, which is something that we bring into the Broga program. So the yoga, the fitness, currently what I do in my life is, I'm the creator and co-founder of this program, Broga. So my life is pretty busy with creating videos and new content, new programming, and which is a lot. But I also still currently teach a yoga class. I teach a Broga class. I go and teach, trainings across the country. I have private clients that I work with, which is really, really helpful. If you don't do that already, you should put yourself out there, because there's so much to be learned with working with all these different bodies, right? People with injuries, people super fit, people who are sedentary. So I've got a very, well-rounded sense of experience that I'll bring. I am 45 years old. I was married for a long, long time. I have a 13-year-old boy. I was married. I'm divorced now, which is totally cool. She's amazing. So anyway, that's just like a little bit of information about me. So if you don't like that so far, you're probably not going to like anything more going forward as far as what has to do with me. I could bore you to death with so many more details about myself, but I won't. So one of the things I want to mention is like I said, Broga is my thing, right? I love it. I believe in it. The reason it was created was to get more men to practice yoga. All the years I've been practicing, I look around and I just don't see enough men that could really benefit. So that's where Broga, for me, stems from. And sometimes I feel like, because Broga is a brand, and I kind of have to keep it in the brand, this 200-hour immersion teacher training is an opportunity for me to kind of show my full range of yoga, okay? So that I am feeling pretty blessed about. I want to clarify a couple different things that you might have. If you have a question, again, if you have questions, go ahead and I'll get to them shortly as soon as I kind of get through a few different things. What was I going to say? Oh, you don't have to be a teacher. You definitely do not have to be a teacher, want to be a teacher. This can be a personal experience for you, a way for you to, find something to do every month, a way to enhance your own fitness program, your own wellness regime, how to eat a little bit differently, how to basically walk and talk on this earth, right? So we'll cover anything and everything from how to move better, how to eat better, how to communicate better or differently. We won't say better. So you don't have to teach. Let's see here. I've got a few different things I want to write down. I wrote down reasons why you take this training are you'd want to teach yoga or Broga, which you'd be totally certified for by the end of this. You develop your own personal practice, learn skills you can apply to your own life to improve your health, your fitness level. This one's kind of good. Increase your personal value. Increase your value out there in the world of fitness or yoga so that you can, maybe teach a wider range of classes. You have more job opportunities, more income to be made. Adding more knowledge to your personal training clients. If you're a fitness person, the community aspect is really awesome. You meet people that you probably will stay in touch with forever. Some you might want to stay away from forever. I'm not going to lie to you. And learn something new. Simple as that. Learn something new and maybe build a little bit of confidence. Do something that takes you completely out of your zone, right? So express that one more time. You do not have to be a teacher. I know plenty of people who have gone through yoga teacher trainings who never taught, never were interested, but got so much out of it. They refined their own personal practice, how to do the poses, appropriately, better for themselves. So there's a lot of posture clinics that we're going to go over, a lot of anatomy. So I'm sure a few more things will come up. And again, I could talk forever about all this awesome stuff, but there looks like there's a question here from Caroline. Hi, Caroline. How are you? Caroline says, thanks for hosting this info session. What is your target market with Broga? So the target market for Broga, first off, where are you located, Caroline? I'd be interested to know that. What we have found for a Broga class, right? Forget about the other worlds of yoga. Broga is targeted to men ultimately, but it's definitely open to all. A lot of women love it. Sometimes you go to a class called Broga and there's 85% women. But most classes are dominated by men, 85 to 15%. And the target market would be mid-30s to mid-50s. There are a lot of sprinkled in on the lower range and even in the higher. But because it is an accessible program, an accessible and sustainable way to move your body, to breathe, to find yoga, that market of people, low 30s to mid to high 50s, is definitely the market we find come to a class and benefit greatly, and who keep coming, and who will be your ongoing students. They find a lot of value in it. They don't want to go out there and kill their bodies doing, crazy exercise. This is good body weight movement. And they're also realizing that at this age, they're starting to feel the effects of life and stress and job and start to find the value of simple stretching and simple strength building. Okay. Okay, so that was actually, thanks for clarifying. That was Michael, Caroline's husband, in Sydney, Australia. How you doing, Michael? Thanks for joining. I'm going to click done on that question. And so Michael has another question. So the other question that Michael has is, how do we intend on marketing Broga as a brand in a very competitive health and fitness market? It's an awesome question. I'm not a marketing genius or specialist, but yoga's been around for a long, long time. And I don't think it's ever going anywhere. So we've got that on our side. And we, at the end of the day, this is a yoga program. So yoga's not going anywhere. Neither are men, and neither is the interest to do this kind of exercise, this kind of movement, right? So let's see here. How can I maybe even answer that more specifically? Intend on marketing Broga as a brand in a very competitive health and fitness market. Yeah, it's competitive. I think by offering continued good, smart content, movement, we're not recreating the wheel here, right? We're trying to bring back and bring into a blend good, healthy, sustainable movement. So, we're not going to change the minds of CrossFitters. We're not going to change the minds of people who are kind of glued to their existing yoga program, but we will fit in somewhere, and we have, and we're sort of nudging our way in a lot of different places. And people, once they have a good instructor who's taken the training, who's taken this program, and they practice and really make a huge effort to get out there and create a class. Once they make it, once that demographic of people get in there, they come back. They are your repeat customers. I hate to use the word customers, but your repeat students. And it's because they benefit and because they're not getting injured. I'm not saying other programs get you injured, but I'm just speaking to what we do. So yeah, it's super competitive out there, but there's a place for us, and there is a little bit of a niche we have, right? So a lot of guys, there are a lot of men out there who are craving yoga, and whether Broga is the answer for them or not, there are a lot of other amazing yoga programs. Bikram has changed the lives of many. Hot yoga, a lot of people love the hot yoga. So we're just one of many trying to fit in and make a difference. So I hope that's helpful, Michael, in Sydney. So do you teach, Michael? Do you teach already? Are you interested in doing the training? Have you already done the training? And I'm just not sure about that. Done. So let's see here. If you are there, and so if you came in late and you don't know how, let me repeat this. If you came in late and you do not have the capacity to ask a question, look up in the top right portion of your screen. You'll see a little Rubik's Cube, like 9 different squares. Click on that little yoga and click on the little logo, and you will see a chat button come up, a chat logo come up. Click on that, and then you'll be able to do the Q&A. So we have, oh, thanks, Michael. Currently doing level 1 teacher training. Awesome. Good luck with that. Have fun with that. That one's done. 1 second. Another question here. So Chuck asks, how much yoga experience do you have to participate in the training? That's such a good question. I can't believe I didn't actually mention that. You need no experience whatsoever. I think that's one of the biggest hangups, truthfully, one of the biggest hangups for people, because they feel like, number one, they're out of shape. Number two, they don't have yoga experience or know what yoga is, so they feel immediately like they're going to, it's not appropriate or necessary for them. And I actually think that it's, for someone who doesn't have any experience, it's going to be an amazing program for you. All teacher trainings are open. I would imagine all teacher trainings are open to the very, very beginner. It's great if you are a beginner. We catch you at that moment where you're just open to absorb all of it, all of what we have to share. So no experience necessary whatsoever. You will not feel like You'll be challenged in moments, no doubt. Your endurance or stamina might be, because there'll be days where we work for, a couple hours doing different posture clinics and, figuring out how to do these things. So you'll be challenged, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I think I answered that pretty clearly. So I actually forgot to do one thing, but that's it. So now, can I describe what a typical day might be like at the training? Yes, I can definitely do that. A typical day could look like Fridays, let's say. You come from wherever you come from, you arrive, and we do some sort of, there's either going to be a special guest teaching a Broga class, or maybe it'll be a specialized class that we're offering for the training. So some movement will be required of you, which I think a lot of people, that's pretty much why a lot of people are coming to these trainings, is they're coming for the physical experience, how to refine their practice, right? Their yoga practice, which is the asana practice. Asana means posture, by the way. So a typical day could be that we practice in the evening, and then we have some sort of lecture in the latter part of the evening on Friday, talking a little bit about what's to come over the weekend. And let's say it's anatomy, right? So Friday night you'll get a little anatomy info, and Saturday come in. So every Saturday, keep in mind, every Saturday for the training, got a little glare on my glasses, sorry. Every Saturday, this is actually a nice little benefit for some of you out there. At 10 o'clock, we have a Broga class. So that's included in the program. You have a Broga class that is required of you, and it'll give you a really good sense of how a 75-minute Broga class is laid out and presented to the world. So after that class, it'll be, again, there'll be discussion, there'll be anatomy discussion, there'll be some kind of philosophy or history, or we'll talk about the language of a teacher. We'll talk about how to basically present yourself as a teacher. Talk about the ethics, language, so on and so forth. So don't feel like this is, it's a fantastic question. Don't feel like you're going to be moving and sweating all day. There'll be a lot of times we'll be sitting, you can lay down, we have bolsters, blocks, support. So a typical day could be anything from a lecture to some posture clinics to movement, an actual class. And we'll have other special, anyway, so that's it with that. I think that answers that question. Michael, thanks, Robert. Another marketing guy here. Marketing query. Therefore, by increasing the number of instructors who teach Broga, that will grow the brand organically, as opposed to getting studios or gyms to adapt Broga into their group fitness program, with a question mark. So let's see, how do I understand that? So therefore, by increasing the number of instructors who teach Broga, that will grow the brand organically, as opposed to getting studios or gyms to adapt Broga into their group fitness program. Let's see if I can answer that. I think it's a combination, Michael. So what we've learned so far is we've taught the program to people who are not affiliated with a yoga studio or a gym. They're just out on their own, and then they bring it to a yoga studio or club saying, hey, I've got this training, I'd love to try it here. But we've also worked with big clubs such as Crunch Fitness, Golds, just to name a couple, but we've got maybe 5 or 6 different big chains that we've worked with where it's become pretty successful. So I think both routes have worked pretty well to get it out there. Does that answer your question at all? It has grown quite a bit through both avenues, through both the singular person coming in for the training and taking it out there on their own, and through bigger studios or gyms. Some gyms, you know, it also depends so much, Michael, on the management of the club or the studio, what their interest is in it. Some have been so interested and believe in it like crazy, and then they get really good teachers to come and take our training. They bring it in to the club and get behind it 100% and put it in good time slots and make it work. Sometimes I've gone to these other places and the management doesn't even know that we're coming for a training. You know, it's tough. And the yoga studios, the tricky thing with the yoga studios is that most of the time, if I owned a yoga studio, let's say my training is Iyengar or Ashtanga, you know, just to name the two big ones, that would be my primary focus. And I might think, without knowing anything about Broga, like, you know, you get a little pushback from Broga sometimes. You know, you may or may not know that, but it may seem like, you know, a marketing ploy just to kind of make a couple bucks. How good is the yoga really? So, you know, it really depends on the establishment, you know, the gym or studio. And if it resonates with them, if they feel it, they're like, oh yeah, this is going to work for me. I'm going to get behind it. I'm going to put flyers out, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not sure if that answered your question, Michael. You can definitely let me know. And we'll touch on that more. So, awesome question. Love it. Can women take this program, or is it just for men? So far, what is the ratio of men to women enrolled? So men and women both are fully welcome to take this training. You know, in the beginning, we had this intention of male-only practice, male-only instructors, right? And then we realized that, you know, we'd get women coming into the class and women coming into our teacher trainings when we opened it up who were phenomenal. And again, it's not like men against women or anything. It was just initially like, okay, how can we create a space where men feel, you know, comfortable? There, you know, there's so many people out there that won't go. They won't go to a yoga class. We all know this. They won't go to a yoga class because of X, Y, and Z. So why don't we try to grab them and bring them over? And so there's, you know this, anyone who's watching, there's no segregation. There's no like men are better than women, or, you know, women are amazing, amazing, dedicated, devoted teachers. And it was crazy for us not to tap into that market of amazing instructors. So, and as soon as we did that as a company and as a brand, it obviously we more customer base, more people were starting to show up for our trainings. So women are welcome and totally have a lot of success with teaching Broga classes. Again, it depends on the person. Depends on the person. And the ratio of men to women enrolled at this moment, I think it's probably, you know, maybe 80-20, 70-30. I'm not sure about the numbers at this moment as far as enrolled in the existing 200-hour training that we're talking about right now, but enrolled across the country and across the globe, there's a pretty equal balance, I think. There are just as many women as there are men, maybe 50-50. Thanks for that question. Eric Landis. What's up, Eric? How's it going? Where are you located? Your question, my friend, is what sort of equipment do we need to bring to the class besides deodorant? That's perfect. Oh, Eric. Eric, how are you, man? I'm pretty sure this is the Eric. I don't know your last name, but I think you're the Eric that I know from Kripalu, possibly. Deodorant, definitely. If you're coming to the 200-hour teacher training, if you're already enrolled, if you're thinking about enrolling, what you need to bring is your own mat, if you have one. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. We've got mats. We have all the equipment, all the yoga equipment that you would need. Water, snacks, there's lunch nearby. Bring as much as of your own food and snacks to keep you well fed, keep your energy up. If you have any special special blankies, any special, like anything that you want to bring. You know, you're going to be with us for quite a few hours on Saturday and Sunday and Friday night. And by the way, the training is, there are 5 weekends where Friday nights are included. The rest of the weekends, the 6 others, are Saturday and Sunday only. So FYI there. So yes, deodorant, water, food, snacks, maybe a change of clothes, you know, maybe a change of shirt. You know, on a Saturday, you're going to do a pretty sweaty class. So afterward, you might want to change and not feel like you're, you know, soggy shirt all day. So that's a great question. Thanks, Eric. And if you're the Eric, I think you are, how are you? Hope all's well, and look forward to seeing you. Yes, you are, he says. Awesome. Will I be certified to teach just Broga or other types of yoga classes? If I don't want to teach, can I miss some of the training if a weekend doesn't work for me? Yeah, that's a great question. So what I'll do is I'll add to that question. There's a segment, there's a full weekend that we will be doing a glare. There is a weekend where we will be offering a Broga certification weekend. Sorry, I had like a total moment there, an old guy moment. A Broga certification is woven into the 200 hours. So I wanted to mention that, which is a super cool benefit and plus. And you'll be certified to teach Broga and yoga, you know. So yoga is a very broad term, but yeah, you can go out there and teach a yoga class, create your own, you know, vinyasa yoga class, maybe a mellow, maybe a slow flow, maybe a power. You'll have all the tools to go forward, either teaching Broga or yoga. And, you know, honestly, Broga is becoming more and more well-known. So, you know, it could benefit you to try to teach both out there. And if you don't want to teach, if your goal is just to come to this and connect in more with your body, learn more about yoga, which I highly recommend, you can miss a few weekends. Yes, I would hope that you wouldn't, but if that was keeping you from signing up, know that if you don't intend on teaching, you don't care about the actual certification, then yes, you can just sign up, pay the rate, and miss what you need to miss, which is totally fine. So with that said, thanks for asking that, Chuck. A couple different things I want to mention. So again, in that showcase bar, look under the showcase bar, which I think is under the Rubik's Cube thing, Rubik's Cube logo on the top right. The price and any information you need is brogayoga.com. And there are a couple links in the showcase is what I'm getting at, with direct links to pricing, early bird discounts. So right now it's $22.95 with a $500 deposit. There are 4 left at that rate. Totally worth it. Really super solid price for what you're going to get. So I'd jump on that now if you're at all considering this. Another question. Does the 200-hour teacher training include Sanskrit, meditation, and history of yoga, or more specifically Broga techniques and physiology? Michael, awesome question. I can't believe I either didn't express that clearly or not at all. It is a fully well-rounded, full range of motion yoga program. Now, Yoga Alliance requires certain number of hours for anatomy, physiology, philosophy, history, postures, teaching of yoga. So each teacher will look at the requirements and choose from there, and then they have to get it approved. So we've been approved And I think we just got our certification like last week or something, which is so nice. It's so cool. So it's yoga. To be certified through Yoga Alliance, it is a fully well-rounded yoga program. So yes, you will have meditation. We have a great guy who's going to bring his years of experience with meditation in. History, philosophy. We have another guest presenter who will be bringing some of her information in on that, some of her insights, which is phenomenal. But the Broga, you know, because it's something that is just so ingrained in myself, and we're teaching it at Borealis, which is, you know, kind of like the Boston Broga hub. It's it'll be baked in and throughout. You know, it's not going to be a bunch of exercise. You're going to have the full, well-rounded yoga program. So I'm really glad you asked that, Michael. Are you actually considering coming here for 11 months, Michael? Another great question. Are there unique elements you are adding to this teacher training immersion that you may not find in other programs? So, may or may not find in other programs. I don't know. I don't know how unique they would be, but let's see. I took some notes earlier. Well, one of the things that I think will be helpful and of major interest for a lot of people is, how do you add in the exercise, more of the exercise, the high intensity interval training, the functional fitness, the body weight training? How do you add that in, like smart, healthy, sustainable movement, functional movement, into a yoga program without compromising the yoga, right? And I think we've done that really well with Broga, and I will definitely share a lot of that in the 200-hour teacher training. You know, yoga for sports specific. We're going to touch on that quite a bit. You know, how to teach, how to provide a short 20-minute program to your private client who's a golfer, or tennis, or, you know, your carpenter friend who has a consistently and constant sore back. You know, how can you create a little 30-minute home practice for them? How to create your own home practice. Let's see, what else would be of significant interest to you? So well, you know, this isn't unique at all, but I forgot to mention that, you know, you'll learn specific sequence, how to put sequences together, how to put posture to posture to posture with breath. That's the other thing I haven't mentioned, is breath. A lot of different pranayama exercises, things that you can practice on a daily, you know, in your morning meditation or your morning routine, how to share it with people. Breath is, let's just say the breath is the foundation of the entire program. It is the utmost importance to me. It's one of the things that actually got me into teaching yoga, right? The breath, the value of the breath. My, you know, just a quick little thing, you know, like my mother passed 10 years ago, and it was because she could not breathe. You know, it's a terrible way to go. And I realized pretty early on, right when that happened, you know, to watch someone you love, especially your mother, pass on because you can't take a simple breath. And so it is a significant part of the training and very valuable, and it is never compromised. I don't care if you're doing a push-up, if you're doing a warrior pose, if you're doing some sort of crazy high intensity thing, the breath, the heart, the quality of your movement, right? The respect, the gratitude, all of it is so important, and will never be compromised. Will absolutely never be compromised. So know that if you're watching this and you're afraid of this just being, you know, beer drinking Broga Fest, you know, it's not that by any means, not at all. It's very serious. No, it is. It's the real thing. You're going to leave this program with a ton of insight, and knowledge and experience in ways that you'll make so many shifts in these 11 months. It's crazy. You know, I can't even begin to express to you the changes that, you know, I've made gradually. over the years of my experience with going to yoga classes and workshops and whatnot. So if you decide to come, be prepared. Be prepared for shifts. It will happen. It will guaranteed happen. So, you ready? Does Broga have pre-designed different levels within the same program, therefore a beginner's level through to advanced class? Or are all levels of ability practice incorporated into the one class? So, great question. The one class that we teach to our people online, or when I go to Nashville or Minneapolis or wherever we go, it's one program. It's one specific 60-minute class that, you can't be in a wheelchair and do it. You have got to be an able-bodied person to do the movements. Now, what we really do our best to do is to make it as accessible with plenty of modifications and adjustments for the beginner. And generally, if an advanced person takes this class, advanced is a tricky word. Like, are they advanced because they're really good at push-ups and strength? Are they advanced because they know how to manage their breath? Are they advanced because they find pleasure in moving slowly and really, the quality is advanced of the movement? So an advanced practitioner can come into this program I'm talking about, this one main program, and find a lot of value. Going backwards sometimes is a really nice way to slow down and refine, because I think a lot of us, as we kind of move forward in our practice, we have our tendencies, we get a little bit lazy, we have our comfort zones. And so this program, even though it's, really not that advanced, we're not doing any kind of crazy pose, right? We're keeping it relatively simple and accessible. I still think that an advanced person is going to have the interest and find value in the simplicity of the movements. And I hope that makes sense. So yeah, beginners have found their way into this class and found a home immediately. And it's not just the poses, a lot of it has to do with how you present them, the language you use, the support you give, the whole setting, So you'll learn a lot about that. The language is of huge importance, paramount. Love that word these days. But I will say what we've got going on and available to instructors is through our Broga resource online. If when they sign up for that, when they're licensed, this is a Broga instructor, I'm speaking to you, Michael. You have access to different warm-ups. You have a warm-up that you can kind of plug in and interchange. You have a flow. You have a high-intensity moment that you can interchange. So it's all interchangeable in the way that we put it together. They're in chunks or segments. So if you learned the 60-minute program, you would, you'd get a little bit tired of doing the same thing over and over. You interchange. And some are probably more difficult, but, right now we're also, developing programs that are much more geared toward the beginner. Like, break it down like bare bones postures. There are, honestly, I think it was you, Michael, who asked this. The market, beginners. There are a lot of people out there who are beginners who find a lot of value in our approach. So in addition to the 30 to 50 range, beginners really do enjoy this. So I'm looking at developing more beginner programs, and advanced would be, if I, develop more advanced stuff, it wouldn't be necessarily based on flexibility advanced. It might be more strength. It might be, that could look like a number of things. It could be, yeah, so that's all stuff in development. But right now we're really trying to keep it simple, make sure what we're doing works, which does. And we've got testimonials all over the place from teachers and people all over who really love it. So yeah, beginners through the advanced can definitely benefit. Any other question? So looks like that might be it for now, which is perfect timing for me and probably for you too, because you probably have a life. So let's wrap this up. Just know you can check out those links. You can email me personally, check me out on Facebook. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer. So that's it. Have an awesome day. Rest of your weekend. I'm in New England. The weather has been insane. Get out and enjoy it wherever you are. Peace. Or stop and broadcast.